Just got through with my interview with David Bonacera, the owner of Steve's Pro Polishing System. And he asked me if I would demonstrate how this works and show that even a non-professional like myself can use this system, make it work, and make it right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of engineered stone. This is what we call the micrograin because the graining is very fine but still textured. And we're going to take this electroplated pad, which is basically raw diamond, and I'm going to make some scratches right across the top here. And then we're going to break it down so that you can see the whole system. We're going to make this our control. We're going to leave that so you can see the scratches. And then here, we're going to take the scratches out and achieve the color and the shine. And then in our third piece, we're going to put the texture back on and we're going to get that factory finish again. So let's get started. So we put the scratches in and we taped off. This is going to be our control. We're going to leave this alone. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take the scratches out all the way across. And when you're doing restoration, the rule is you go with the least invasive step first. So the first thing that I do when I have a scratch problem is I want to feel it. If I can feel it with my fingernail, I'm going to start down at 400 grit. I can just barely feel these. So we're going to try the 800 grit. And what we're going to use is we're going to use diamond pads. These are white so that they don't bleed any color into the stone. And they're very, very soft. They have resin and melamine. Very, very soft so that I don't leave a swirl pattern. That's important. So we're going to start with the 800 here and then see if that is aggressive enough to get the scratch out and then continue up until we achieve the color and shine that we're looking for. Okay, so we've got our 800 pad, and a lot of times I get asked, what equipment are we using? For this one, we're using a Makita 9237. A lot of times guys will attempt to do this with a high-speed grinder. It doesn't work. Even most of your variable speed grinders only go down to 2,800, 3,000 RPM. And the problem with that is that centrifugal force is going to throw your compounds and your water all over the place, make a big mess. So I like this one. It goes all the way down to 600 RPMs. I have a lot of control and I can keep working that slurry back towards the center where the issue is. So we're going to get started. I have to do this wet. Engineered stone does not like heat. It will burn. So I'm going to apply water. Okay. And we're going to get started. Now I never turn it on and then go because I'm not good enough to put that thing down perfectly flat. So I always start with it flat and then all right, so it looks like 800 just isn't aggressive enough. So I'm going to jump down to 400. I'm going to slow this way down now. It won't get, I turn the RPMs down so that I'm not throwing my water, it stays more in my work area. And I'm really focusing on keeping this pad flat. If I tilt it one way or another, you're gonna see it later. And I'll point out, I'm not applying any pressure. I'm letting the diamonds do the work. Now 400 grit is not real aggressive. You think about sandpaper on wood, you know, at 220, that's like super fine, but in the granite world, we'll get up to 3,000, sometimes 10,000. We got our scratch out with the 400 grit. Looks good, but you can definitely see the difference, that it's a completely different light reflection, texture, everything in this racing stripe where we had our scratch. So now I'm going to go out slightly. This helps with the blending in process. And we're going to go up to the 800. They say patience is a virtue. In this scenario, patience is a must. Again, start flat. Let's see what we got. All right, it's looking good, but you notice we don't have the color. This is still lighter than the surrounding area, and we don't have the shine. I can see light reflection from here down. I don't see any reflection in this area that we've worked on. But that's okay. We're going to go to the next grit, 1500, and that will change. All right, so we're done with the diamond part. Now we're going to get into the compounds, and that's really the key. The compounds are what are going to give us back the texture. It's going to knock the resin just down enough to give it that orange peel, or whatever term you want to use. And then we're also going to use the leather pads, which are great. And we're also going to use, for the first time, an orbital sander. Okay, we're almost there. Just got a little bit of transition to deal with, but the texture is there. I mean, it's there. All right, now we're ready to move on to the third and final stage of the process. So we've taken the scratch out all the way across, gotten the color to match, gotten the shine to match. So now we're ready to start working on giving it back the texture, blending everything in, and making it look like a factory finish again. So we're gonna start with the 3000 grit powder, this guy here, and we're gonna switch from the rotary Makita polisher to the random orbital sander, and going from diamond polishing pads to these compounds and a foam pad. This is where you get your texture. I don't want peanut butter. I don't want it that thick. So make it into a slurry, right? All right, and we are ready to start. So I may not be done with that slurry, so I'm just going to pull it back and keep it there in case I need to use it. But we're definitely not there yet, so pull it back in, liquid. Notice I'm going outside of my marks because I've got to blend it. I've got to blend it out and make it look consistent. All right, that was really cool. I hope that you can see in detail what we just did. We took really beyond normal scratches all the way across. I mean, this is probably worse than what you'd run into in a house, but you know what? It shows you the potential of this whole system. So you can see these scratches, then you see where, you know, we have this slick area where we took the scratches out, but we didn't have the texture. And then here you can see where we put the texture back in, transitioned it from factory all the way across. And this is amazing. I mean, normally what you're going to have to do is tear it all out, remanufacture, reinstall, but with this system we got it right back to the factory finish. So let's recap what we did. You know, we analyzed the scratches and tried 800 grit, wasn't aggressive enough, went down to 400, then back up through the grits. That's where we finished here. Come back over here. We started with the foam pad to put that texture back on, right? And then we went into the leather pads, which are amazing, and then we blended it out and put the shine back on. I really like to go from the rotary polisher to the orbital. It let me play and experiment, and so I could get completely different results with the same pad and the same compound, but with a different tool. And sometimes you got to experiment a little bit. We had to go back and forth a bit, but it really turned out nice. I definitely endorse this system. I encourage people to practice first. You know, this is for professionals, but once you get the hang of it, you're going to feel confident and it's going to make you money. So I'm Tomkins, and I hope to see you all again. Thanks a lot.